And the surgery it was fine. When I got in there, they could tell I was super nervous. They're like, oh my gosh, hey, what's going on? Sit down. And I was vibrating. I was like, are you good? I'm like, no, I don't want to go under. You know, Sister Reaper was like, what's wrong with you? It's fun going to sleep. Same with Grandma Reap. They're like, what's wrong with you? There's nothing wrong with taking a little nap. They put you right to sleep. I'm like, what if I don't wake up? They're like, that won't happen. And then I grabbed like the disclosure form that you have to sign before they, you know, do the whole thing, the whole procedure. And it says, there is a chance of death when we put you under. And I screamed because there's nobody more afraid of death than death herself. We fear the unknown. What happens if the Grim Reaper dies? We don't know. We don't know. So I was panicking, to say the least. I was like, oh, you want me to sign on this line? We're doing this in 30 minutes? Okay, yeah, sure. Should be fine. Should be great. I signed it, and then I immediately started vibrating as I sat in the waiting room, and they made me wait for like a long time. And then as soon as the anesthesiologist comes in, I scream. I'm like, ah! Can I make the executive decision to back out of this, maybe? I'm sure my knee will heal on its own. It won't. It will not do that. The anesthesiologist was super nice, though, and was like, all right, clearly you're a little tense. And I said, yeah, maybe a little bit. It should be fine. I just don't want to die. And then the anesthesiologist was like, great, chew on this. And I was like, ooh, what's that? He said, it's gonna make you feel better. I said, okay. Yeah, I'll chew on this. Was it candy? Blah! Tasted freaking terrible, like chalk. But I did chill out a little bit. However, it wasn't enough to chill me out when the anesthesiologist said, all right, come on, it's time to go. I was vibrating again. It was bad. And so the anesthesiologist was so chill and was like, all right, just hold on to my arm. You're gonna be a little woozy from what I just gave you. I was like, all right. As I'm walking, because they didn't wheel me in, they had me like walk. Were you in a gown? Yes. And I did feel a breeze, but I tried not to think about it. I was preoccupied. At that time, I was thinking about death dying, so there was that. But the good news is, you know, I had the tube that was already in my arm, and as we're walking, that he's like, all right, so we're gonna give you something to take off the edge. I'm like, when? He's like, now, and we're walking, and he has like the syringe and is like pushing something into the tube, and I was like, oh, okay, what might that be? And then immediately I knew. I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, I guess we're just gonna take a little seat right here, and immediately stopped feeling scared. That was crazy. I didn't think that was gonna happen. I really didn't think they were gonna like calm me down when I sat on the table. I thought I was gonna have like a full-on conniption while laying on the table, like flopping like a fish out of water. I thought that that's what it was gonna be. But then immediately I was like, whoa, the power of the medicine. I was very thankful for that. Because I laid down and I was like, oh, okay, well, if I die, I guess that's cool. Which is not a good thing to think. You really shouldn't think that. And then the next thing I know, they put the mask on me, and the anesthesiologist is like, it's gonna burn a little bit. And I such a dummy, so silly. I'd been watching so many shorts and videos on the YouTube. I couldn't go to sleep the night before. I kept watching, going down the rabbit hole of how the anesthesia works. And so I already had a bit of knowledge about how this whole thing goes. And I was like, oh, is the dumb question, is that the lidocaine? He says, nah, the lidocaine would make it not burn. Weirdly enough, I didn't feel the burn though. And I was like, oh yes, the propofol, that's what it's called. And then the next thing I know, I'm opening my eyes and I'm seeing blood at the end of the table, but everything's done. I was like, oh, but it didn't feel like a time slip. It's hard to explain. I do feel like I went to sleep. I do feel like I had a big old nap. Like there was a, but after that, they, you know, wheeled me into a different room and they're like, all right, you're gonna chill here for a little bit. Oh man, I was just hanging out. I was zoning. I was looking at the ceiling like, whoa, there are holes there. That's nutty. You know, my family had to come pick me up super early from the overnight stay. And it's crazy because they make you pay like $1 gajillion to stay overnight, right? And then they're like, all right, 5 a.m. sharp, you better be there or be square. We're like, wait, really? Why are we paying $1 gajillion for you to have to be there at 5 a.m.? Sounds like the US. It was rough, but why? Yeah, because freedom, I mean, maybe. But it is what it is. That's okay. That's fine. That's just how the US healthcare, yeah. It was fine for me though, because like I said, I wasn't sleeping, but You know, it was annoying for my family to have to come grab me that early in the morning. Goodness.